Hello everybody, I hope we're doing good. So today is one of the first videos I'm putting on my channel, which I'm going to probably do between 1 and 3 videos per week, just analysing the 7 majors plus gold. For anyone who doesn't know, the 7 major pairs are the most traded pairs in the Forex market, which is GBP USD, Euro USD, AUD USD, NZD USD. I'm adding gold in there because I believe that is one of the major traded as well. USD, CAD, USD, Swiss, USD, JPY, and then the DXY, which is this one here, which isn't a traded pair, but it's something that's very, very important when trading any of those because it reflects a lot of the moves in the market, and it's good to read what the DXY is doing, the dollar index. So you can look at how the other ones, the opposites or the same ones, will be performing. For example, GBP USD, if US dollar index is going up, typically that means the GBP USD or Euro USD or any of the opposite USD pairs, they will be going down, and then obviously same as the other way around as well. So if this is going up, these will be going up as well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through all the different pairs, show you just how I monitor and analyse pairs for the next week ahead. It really just helps to understand kind of where we might be at with price, where we might be going, and when the previous day finished. I don't really use any indicators at all. I like to just use boxes and lines. I feel like it's enough for me. So it may seem very basic, but that's just what works for me, and that's just what I like. I'll show you something that I'm practicing on 2 other pairs, which is not a lot different, but you'll see anyway when I get onto it. So here we are with DXY, so the dollar index. As you can see, since, and this is the hourly candles by the way, since this date here on the 24th, we've not broken really any lows properly. We've had a little sweep here at 5 o'clock, but we've not closed below, so we have been completely bullish, taking out all these highs here from previous time, and we've actually been on a downtrend. So it looks like we are starting to potentially reverse into some form of a bullish trend on the DXY. Now as you can see here, this was quite a support level for this period of time here, the week of February, basically the opening week. It never really got broken. So you've got the opening week of Feb here, where this line is. We started all the way up here, big push down, we had that, and then we've got this pushing in. Now as you can see here, this is where we had the resistance becomes support at this 107 area, pushed all the way down here to 105.65, where we found our support again, and this was at the end of February, so last week, and then we've been bullish all the way to here, crossed that point here, support become resistance, pretty much use it as support now again, and now we're pushing up. Now these are the last 3 hours of the afternoon session of the US, so I wouldn't really take that into too much of a watch to see what it might do. It doesn't mean it's going to keep going down, but what it looks like is we've found a breaker structure, and we might be looking for some sort of move upwards, which potentially means that next week we're going to have more of a bullish run on these and more of a bearish on these. Now that's, you can never determine that, but that's what you could start to look at, and that's why these are marked red and these are marked green. We'll come on to gold in a bit because that's slightly different, but I've still got it green just because overall it has been bullish apart from last week. So what I simply do, it's Sunday now, the markets are closed. Now I mark the last kilo just in a box here. The actual space of the box is quite irrelevant. It's not like I've marked it for any specific reason down to here. It's just really so it's easier to see, because if I was to kind of do it like that, it'd be a bit pointless. It's really just marked out that area, and the same with here. So what we're going to look at Monday is to see if any of these areas get respected or swept when we're trading into the US session. So what I tend to do is mainly trade the US session, so it'll be from 11 AM UK time, and I'll trade from usually in between those sessions between 2 and 4 for my entries. So US session typically is it starts at 11 and finishes at around 5 PM UK time, and the entry is the best for the work for me between 2 and 4, which is an hour after open, and then a further hour after that. So between the hour between 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. That's when I like my entries. So that's what we're going to be looking at on around this time here. Got the end of the day there. Oh, sorry, that is the opening of the week here. Actually, no, completely wrong there. My mistake. Sorry, the opening is here. Then we've got this time here. This is the start of the session, and then we'll be looking for entries in these bits here. Okay, so that is a DXY. So we've got a key sales here at 107.20, 107.2 area, and then we've got the key buys here at 106.78. So that's what we're going to be looking at on Monday. See where these levels get respected. Are we going to get a sweep, a test, and a push down? We're going to get a sweep, push through, retest up. Or we're going to get the opposite on this side. Like, what are we going to do? So we'll wait and see on that one. Here we go, USD JPY. Now, again on this one, similar to DXY, we've been downtrending since the middle of Feb, but we've actually been downtrending overall since the high of here, which was on the 10th of January. Been pushing all the way down here. This is where we had a bit of a push up, but we found rejections here, and then we've not broken any highs really since then, until on this day here, Friday, where we found a bit more of support. Broke this high, we didn't get a close, we got a sweep, and then it looks like we are starting to find support here. So that's another thing to look at. Exactly the same on the DXY. Are we going to push through and use this as support? That's what we're going to be mostly looking at for next week on Monday. Are we going to break through? This will be our old support level, and then we'll be looking for a new support where this resistance has happened. Simple as that. So these levels here that you've got to look out for: 105, 200, 150, 200, and then we've got 151 dead here. So this is the zone which we're looking at. Where's the support and resistance going to be? This is where we opened up pretty much, and then we just never broke that high, never broke that low, and then this where we found resistance has now become support. It's just standard procedure. Very, very simple, very, very basic, but in trading it doesn't need to be technical at all. It really is as simple as that. You just add that with your patience, and then you look for your entries and just stick with it. So there we go with that one. USD CAD, again, the same thing as I was saying on the DXY. If the DXY is performing, it usually affects these in a similar way in terms of the movement that it's going. So I've put this one here because we actually closed with the green candle, so there hasn't been any proper resistance yet. This was just kind of consolidating. It doesn't really count, and we've broken through it and used it as support. So that is the reason why I put the last level up, which is here, which is where we had a big push down, and then we've flown up, hit this resistance here, and then gone down, which is here. My God. And then this is where we'll be looking for next. So what we're going to look at, this one we'd take a bit more time with, and we'd let it run up and see if it reacts off any of this. So this one would probably be something that you may not get that much movement in Monday to reach there, so we wouldn't be looking for any entries on this. But any entries that I do take on Monday, I will record on my prop challenges, and I will put it on the video as well, so you can see that. Yeah, so the key level of this one is 1.44 for the support, and the resistance would be looking around, let's just say, the 145. So there's about a 100 pip move there, 100 pips of movement. So that's why it's going to take possibly a bit longer to kind of see exactly what's going on. Right, now moving on. USD CHF, fairly similar on this one, to be fair. So we have been uptrending since last week, the 25th of Feb. We've broken no new lows, but we have broken these resistance points and used them as support. As you can see, if I move this across, it's a bit of a thin line actually, it's quite hard. One sec, here we go. So as you can see, classic support becomes resistance. It's always returning back to the same place, but the big point is when. That's the thing. Price always returns back, but when does it return? And that's why I like to mark up these levels simpler. So we've got this key support level, which is around 90 and 90.1, which is here. These levels here, where I've found kind of regular support, and then this is the resistance. That's the support level we'll be looking at. And the resistance is this here, when we found this big bullish move, bearish move down, and then found a bit of a bullish move up, just tinkering up, hovered around, and then boom, back down. So let's see, we've kind of come to the neckline of the push up. So we're going to be looking, are we going to keep pushing up and use this now as support? Or are we going to do exactly what we did then and keep going down? We will find out next week. So this is what we're going to look out for. So we need it really to break 90.5, 90.6 and start to use it as support before we start to get into buys. And we'll probably be buying from that area, because as you know here, resistance, boom, push through, support. That's what we're looking for here. Resistance, boom, push through, support. And then we'll be targeting these highs here, which was earlier. We won't be going up there, because we've seen that that's kind of previously not quite pushed through yet, and there's a bit of resistance here, but it's not too strong. There's some support here, so maybe we'll go here. 91 dead, you know, that's 40 pip move. It's a nice clean move, so maybe that's what we'll look for. I'll mark that up just in blue. 91 dead, and this maybe is where we'd go for a target for a move for a long trade if we get this support. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we use it as 90.6. we put our trade under here. Let's just go 15 pips, makes it nice and easy. And then we go for this target up here for 40, nearly 3 to 1. That's maybe what we might be looking at, guys. Nice clean move. So push up, support, boom, straight up. Right, let's go on the NZD. These are the opposite to the euro pairs. So as you can see, we have been on quite an aggressive downtrend. We've not really made any, apart from here when we've gone up, we never cleared that high. We are really pushing down, but usually NZD pair and Aussie pair are quite slow to react to the other ones, in terms of, you might see GBP and euro when dollar's down flinging up quite rapidly, but these ones don't tend to do it as quickly. They are quite slow, but as you can see, the last 3 hours of closing, we start to see a little bit of movement. This is such a small area of price, but this is really the whole of the day on Friday. You know, we've had this resistance and support. So the resistance level is 56.1, and then the support is found here at 55.8. So yeah, Friday was a bit more of a consolidating day. So on Monday, I probably wouldn't be looking for any trades. Reason being, just there's so little price movement. We want something more like this, which is really kind of quite a big move, from 56.8 all the way down here to 55.8. About a 100 pip move. That'd be something nice if we got a portion of that. As you can see here, though, it is quite obviously downtrending, but there's a lot more below it. It's not at its bottom of its range at all. So yeah, what we'll be looking for is on Monday, just to see what happens, and then potentially look for entries later on in the week once we've kind of got more of a clearer direction. So now we're on the Aussie, exactly the same with that one. I won't spend too much time on this because it's pretty simple. It's exactly the same as before. They are correlated pairs in a way. 62 dead as the kind of support level, and resistance level will be looking at 62.4, so it's only 40 pip move. So we'll be looking for more of, are we going to retest this area? We do have a bit of resistance rather here as well. I have put that quite high, but this is the kind of more obvious resistance. I'm actually going to move that down, to be honest. So we'll be looking to see if we can break this 62.2 area before we start to look where we're going next, because we might get a pushback down. This movement here, 62.2 down to here, is only 20, 30 pips. Now, if you're not sure if it's going to keep going down, there's probably no point getting in a trade that tight, because it could just bump, and they're the most frustrating trades to be in, and it happens a lot on these two pairs. So what I'll be waiting for is a clear break and retest of this area, or a clear break and retest, or even a push back up of this area before entering on any trades. So here we are, Euro, very interesting pair, good pair to trade is Euro, same as GBP. If we look here, been downtrending since we didn't break this high at 105.20 on Monday, which is the start of this week, where we've kind of found quite a lot of resistance, to be honest, as you can see here and here. So we've not really broken that for quite some time. You know, this is the 18th of December. We've not really pushed through that area for a while, and we have kind of been just up, down, up, down. I wouldn't call it consolidating, because there's been a lot of moves here, but since the start of the week we have been downtrending. We found this support, but we'd still most likely be in sells here. What we'll be looking for here is another retest of this area to come down, and then we can look for some form of entry for a bullish, a bearish movement, unless we get some big bearish movements from this and we start to fly up. Then that's when we'll be looking for buys from 104.4 or above, but below here I'm probably bearish on this, and I'd be looking at sells probably from maybe even 104 to 104.2 around this area here. So I'll be looking at sells probably next week, unless we can get a break and retest of this area. That's where I'm at on that. So yeah, I'd say on EURUSD sells, a lot of these we're looking at buys. I'm going to go GBP now. Now what you'll see on this is going to be a lot different to these other ones, but I'm just trying out a new entry strategy which just involves marking out the 5 pip areas. I've not seen anyone do this, but I'm not saying no one does it, just personally it's just what I'm going to try for cleaner entries, because what I've found is that price is quite regularly, when it does hit 5 pip levels, which is whole numbers, you can kind of get more of a cleaner entry. If you look on the 5-minute time frames, you know, and it's a lot easier to place entries at whole numbers. So here, 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 and you can kind of read price a little bit better, and it's easier to kind of get straight in without using calculators to determine your lot sizes for your risk, you know, because each one of these represents 5 pips. So if you need a 15 pip stop loss or a 10 pip stop loss and you're risking 0.5% of a 100k account, it's so easy. You just do 5 lots, 2 levels, boom, done. Simple as that. You're not having to do like, you know, like 5.4, 5.2, whatever lots to get into your trade. So you're doing the right risk to reward. So personally it just works for me, you know, as an example, going from a long from this area, 10 pips, go for 20 or 30 or whatever. I mean, that hit 30 pips. Now it's easy to say, oh yeah, let's go for 36 pips on this one after it's happened. I'm not saying that, but I'm just using it as an example. So I'm just practicing it anyway, and it does seem to be working quite good, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. But yeah, anyway, let's go back to the analysis. So, can be a bit blaggy on your eyes, but you do get used to it. So, as you can see here, same with Euro pretty much, apart from we are making more cleaner price sweeps, and we actually have been uptrending quite more than Euro. This is the area which we haven't reached yet, which is the 17th of December, which is, funnily enough, I think I said on the last pair, 18th was the last high that hadn't been broke, so that's quite interesting. But yeah, 127,250, and I think it's come up to just below that level, 127,15, so that's 10 pips below that area. So we have been downtrending since this day here, which was last Wednesday. We made the highest high, and then since then we've not made any new highs. This is Friday. When we opened on Thursday at 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. I'm getting absolutely blagged here. 2300 we opened on Thursday night for Friday's session. Our biggest high was at 106.2, which was at 3 o'clock. That's where all the resistance has been for most of the day, around these levels. And our support at the lowest end was 25.60, 125.60. So again with this one, I would say we're still potentially in sells, but I feel like we might get a sweep of this area because it is getting a lot more price action in GBP. But what I would say is we're going to just do the same as we are in the other trades. We've boxed in our price, and we just need to see what happens in London and US the first, basically up until 2 o'clock. Where does price go? Where are we going? Do we get a sweep? Do we get a retest? Do we just get a complete rejection? Are we going to consolidate? That's what we're going to be looking at. So we've got the key levels here mapped out at 1256 for the buys, and for the sells we've got 1262. So there's about a 100 pip range. Sorry, there's about an 80 pip range here. 126 200, 125 8 pips. So that's what we're going to be looking at on Monday. Where does price go up until 2 o'clock? Now if you are doing trade in London session, you can just do the same, but just say where does price go up to 9 o'clock, you know, because you've got that hour open. If I'm trading London, I'll wait an hour after open just to see what happens, because that's when you get quite a lot of manipulation, you get a lot of orders and volatility. And then 9 and 10 after there, you kind of see the price kind of run in the direction it's choosing to. Like if you can see here, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, push down, 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 and then it goes up and then down. So you kind of, do you know what I'm trying to say? Getting the manipulation in the morning and then the actual move in the day. See this? Asia session push down, UK session push up, taking out all these lows after the US session. We'll finish down here. So let's just see. I'd be looking at sales most likely, but I'd need to just see where we end up. If we keep going down here, sweep, push, reject, keep going down, then we look at a sell from this area. Or if we go up, we need some kind of rejection from here, then a sell from this area. Or we keep going up, push, find support, regular support, and then we look for buys and target these highs. So there we go. And then last but not least, gold. Now I'm doing the same thing as I'm doing with GBP, but on gold, but I'm marking out the $2 levels. Some people do $5, so that'll be the 5 and the 10, so 28.50 for example, and 28.55. But I just feel like it's quite a distance between the two, and it's quite hard to get entries more precise because you're waiting for price to hit those areas first. You know, it's 50 to 100 pips, which is not a small amount, but you know, if price is consolidating and it just sweeps your area and completely miss your entry, it's quite hard. So as you can see here, the major resistance level, I would say here has been 28.65. Sorry, 28.66, which is on my $2 level. We hit that multiple times, you know, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, and then we just didn't see it since then. So from 12, 1, 2, we were just pumping all the way down to here. And then this is where the 3 o'clock candle open, and this is when we start to go up, hit this area here, 28.54, and then back down again, 28.38, and then we closed up here. So what we're going to looking at, see the previous resistance that we had here. We're going to see if we do the similar thing again. Are we going to keep pushing up and reject again and back down? Then we've kind of got a good confirmation there, but gold is tricky, and what usually will happen, not usually actually, I won't say that, but what can happen is you will find rejections here and you think, right, cool, I'll set a limit here for a sell, and it'll just go whoom, fly up somewhere silly like here, and then go bam and take out all of these lows. So what you've got to do is you've got to be patient. Let's see how these levels get respected. We've boxed in our price now. You know, what happens when it hits here? We're going to keep going down. We might find support at a level like this and then go back up, or we might keep going down. So you just keep monitoring on the price up until your chosen time of trading, and that's why it's really important to have a time of when you trade and stick to it, and I'll do a video on that. And that's why I choose entries between 2 and 4, just because you're not staring at the charts all day and then you're getting stupid entries, and then the thing that you wanted to happen happens at the time you should be trading, which does happen a lot if you do not follow your rules. And then it's easy as well, you just plan your time out. You say, right, I'm working for 2 hours a day today on this. I'll open my laptop at 1:45, just mark the areas up, or look at the areas that I marked up the session before, or the earlier in the day when I did my analysis, and then let's crack on. Let's just turn all our phones off and work. And that's what I do. It's as simple as that. So that's what I'm going to be looking at: rejections off here or sweeps, and then supports from here or sweeps. Between 2 and 4 we'll look for potential entries based on what happened in the previous hours of the day, and then we know we've given ourselves the best chance to get the best results we can for our trading because we're sticking to our rules. So I'm still getting used to doing these videos. This is going to be the first one I ever post, so if you could just let me know how I can improve it, any comments or feedback, negative, positive, I don't mind, I can take it. I am going to do another video on just about me and what the channel's going to be for. But yeah, I'll get onto that. It'll either be before this video or after. I'll decide. But yeah, thank you very much. Any questions, just drop a comment and I will reply to them and answer them. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching.